Hey, everybody, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is Friday again. I say that a lot, and I say that a lot, don't I?
Yes.
Right, kind of in a,
Every week.
right, kind of in
Deja vu.
a, right. Man, there's so much going on. We have been just pounded by the rain. We have so much rain. It just keeps raining, and there's some really good things with that, right? I mean, I'm going to show you guys some pictures that I showed on the live last week in the exact same spot, the pictures this week, and how much different things look. And it's just like I was out in the food forest today and just blown away. Not just by the food itself, but the grasses and the stuff that grow up between everything. And you try to keep it at bay, but with all this rain, it is really, really hard to keep it all at bay. And there's just
it's growing very fast.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. So there's a lot of worse problems to have than too much rain. We're supposed to have like 5 days of decent weather, like in the 80s and the 70s, not up in, like the 90s, which is.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
It's hard being outside when it's so hot.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And this week was a little bit of a challenge for me in that I really didn't get a chance to work on my project very much. I just didn't, Monday I had a bunch of work I had to catch up on. Tuesday, I went to the office. Wednesday I came home, got a little bit done. Thursday I had board meetings, came home.
Back at the office.
Yep, back at the office. And here we sit Friday, which I spend all day working on basically the live. Had Nitos stopped in from her trip. And for those of you who don't know, Nitos is a female. This came up this week. So, but she had gone from where they live and all the way down to Florida and South Carolina and some of those states to visit. And on her way back, she stopped and spent a couple of days with us. So we got to, have a little conversation with her and visit. And it was nice. And it's nice to put a face to the, to the name.
A whole story. I mean, there's a whole story behind her. Mm-hmm. She's not just a name. So it was like, oh yeah, of course I know who that is.
Yeah. So that's super, super cool. Also got to have a lot of community time this week, which was really good. And it helps, keep me balanced and grounded in a lot of ways. So, for that, it's good.
Yeah.
You got to give some massages this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did cut my nails.
Yeah. What else did you do? What'd you do this week?
I tried to mow. I mowed a little bit over on the back 40.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked down and I needed gas. So I hurried back to the gas pump and then I tried to pump gas and there was more gas coming out. The line has like a crack in it. The gas hose has a crack in it. And so I just turned on there's like a shut off. So I turned it on and then gas started coming out. And I thought, oh, if I hurry up and get over there and turn the pump on, then it would just
relieve pressure,
flow in, but it was just coming out just as fast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, turn it off.
Yeah.
So I got I didn't get very much because I felt like I was wasting more than I was gaining.
Yeah, I have 2 big tanks on my land, one for diesel, off-road diesel, and then one for unleaded. And the unleaded one had a big leak. I bought the new hose for it. I'll try to get it fixed tomorrow. But again, we'll just see how that works because I've got a baby shower tomorrow and I'm going to be a grandpa.
We get a new baby.
Yep. I get to be a grandpa for the second time, which is incredible. An incredible experience. And it's funny, my granddaughter, I love tremendously. And she still doesn't know quite how to take grandpa. And that's okay. I don't push her. I just let her come to it on her own terms. So she's finally at, how old is she now? She's 3, right? Yeah. She's finally giving me hugs. And so we're finally getting that. She would hug Bethany right away, and just not grandpa, I don't know if it's because I'm big. I'm a tall guy, why do you think it is?
I think because you're loud. You're like, come on, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So what a great joy kids are. And, I've probably told you guys this before, one of the only regrets I have in my life is we didn't have more kids. Because being dad's really, really cool. But being grandpa is also really, really cool, So I love it a lot. So anyway, we get to go to a baby shower tomorrow for my second grandchild. So that'll be fun. Sunday, we have
breakfast,
community breakfast. So we'll go through that.
And a message.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
what do we even call that?
David says that she's scared of me because I'm bearded.
Oh, her dad has a beard.
Yeah, it's true.
Full on beard.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I don't know what it is, but here's the thing I do know for sure is I can't push her to it. She'll come to it on her own terms, but I promise you guys this. We've been doing lives now for, I don't know, 4 years, whatever it is. You double that time and her and I will be best friends.
I think right when we get there, she's a little like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then by the time we leave, she's like, oh.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, let's get some hellos in, huh? You want to do that real quick? Let me scroll back up here to the top.
Is anybody here?
Yeah, Carrie Davis is in the house, and she says, here, I'll put it up on the screen because I have no idea what she's saying, but it says, LIBMR pigs. Let's let the good times roll. I get the whole message except the LIBMR.
Libmer.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. So if someone smarter than me can let me know, that'd be great. Skeens Girl, welcome in. Lisa, hello. Good to see you. The greatest name on the internet is actually followed by No Life is Complete Without a.
Ooh, pack rat.
That's a fact. Gratitude to Grace is here. We're going to see you guys soon. Says, we'll be listening to the absurdity while we work tonight. Good for you. Good for you. Jade Marie is in the house. Hello. My buddy Indiana Mike. Ahoy back to you. The king himself, Jeff Juicy Hefty Lefty Amazon Mud Dogger Slick is in the house tonight. DePlatt, welcome in. Mark Doak, Starla, welcome in as well. Apple Bluff Plum says we had a 117-degree heat index yesterday. Today got some rain and much needed relief from the heat at 74 degrees. Yeah, no thank you.
It's hot.
Yeah, no thank you. Thank you guys for the congratulations on my grandchild. I'm very much looking forward to it. David, welcome in to you as well. Let's see here. Luke the Drifter says, and he might be right, maybe your beard isn't big enough. Yeah, maybe it's a poquito beard.
No, you do keep it trimmed because
yeah. Well, I've got to put a suit on once in a while, so not very often.
It does get out of control sometimes.
Yeah, I'm very,
but not like.
Yeah, no, I'm very blessed in my life that I go into the office 1 day a week. Sometimes two. This week was 2, but most of the time it's 1. Would you agree? Yeah. We would like to welcome in the beautiful Louise Wesley, right? And she says, was great to meet you, Nitos. Let's see here. Instigator himself, Hippocrates Garden, is in the house, as is Beth Emily. Hello. Okay, Hippocrates Garden says LIB, stands for Well IB. Well IB. Okay, so let's try this again. So Gary Davis says, say it with a southern draw. Let's go back here. I've never lived in the South. Can you do a southern draw?
I don't understand what he's saying.
Okay, that didn't go well. Anyway, where am I at here? Let me scroll back down here. Okay, there we are, right there. Will Be Cool is in the house. What's up? He says, trapped in my cabin. Cabin is on the hill, but roads are flooded. Thank goodness for solar and Starlink. Amen. Okay, we're going to try this again here. Gratitude for Grace says, LIBMR pig, said with an Arkansas Southern accent. Well, I'll be. Them are pigs. Well, I be. Them are pigs. Oh, my goodness. You guys are freaking nuts.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you for the help. That's very, very nice. And let's see here. Stan Gunther's also here. Good to see you as well. Yeah. And Instigator says, well, I be. Them are pigs. Skane says, just add a little twang to each letter. Good to see you tagging being everyone. Yep, good to see you as well. I hope all is good for you, and I hope you're fighting through the hardest you can. So, anyway, I'm caught up at least for now. Yeah, let's see here. Packrat says, sounds like someone trying to fit it all on a personalized license plate. Yeah. Yes, it does. Hey, Jen, what is up?
Hello.
Jen is in the house, says, what in the cornbread heck are y'all trying to say?
There, show her. She'll know.
Yeah, all right. You need to go back and show it to her? Okay, hold on. All right, Jen, I'm going to put it back on the screen one more time. Ready? There you go.
Limmer.
Before the live meet.
Limmer Limmer pigs. Liberm.
All bad. All bad. All bad. Let's see here. Instigator says, as I went down through Arkansas, I saw a saw that can outsaw any saw that you ever saw in Arkansas. If you ever see a saw that can outsaw that saw that I saw in Arkansas, I'd like to see that. Oh my goodness, look at that. My buddy Mario's in the house. Said, hey, happy Friday, my groovy homestead people. I'm changing the oil in the mower with you guys tonight. Very cool. I love when we could do two things at the exact same time, huh? Yeah, super good stuff. Yeah. Let's see here. And Conserve Friends, welcome in. Says, howdy y'all. Ryan Hall says 70, 80 mile an hour winds tomorrow night in Kansas. I heard that.
Is that down south?
No, I don't know. Most of it, when I was looking at Ryan Hall today, it looked like we were on the outer edges of it. Mm-hmm. That most of it would be central and north Kansas. But again, that's what they say today, right?
Yeah. It'll just go right.
It'll just blow
right around us.
Yeah, just blow right by. Well, hey, I thought I'd share with you guys a story and get some advice. I'm going to ask you guys for some advice tonight. So if you guys remember in my previous stories, I was telling you guys about how my county decided that they were going to pass Resolution 2516, which allowed the county to come on your land against your consent if what they believed there was a permit violation, a sewer violation, and they would accept an anonymous tip. To me, this is a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment. And so we put up a big old fight, and we got them to rescind the resolution. So the resolution is gone. But there were some events that happened in the middle of that. One of them was I filed a formal CORA request for all the documents pertaining to the creation, implementation, enforcement of said resolution. The county commission told me pretty quick, well, we don't have anything. And so they didn't really give me anything. Well, I didn't like that answer because how is that true? And so I went to the Attorney General's office for the state of Kansas and I filed a formal complaint against my county for violating the CORA rules. So CORA is Kansas Open Records Act. And so basically what it says is all business, county business, needs to be held in public except for those things like, specific employee issues and things like that. But generally, all business has to be held in Kansas. So this is now
held in Kansas?
Held in public. So now it's been a year. So I'm finally starting to get responses back from both the Attorney General and from the county. And so basically what they're saying to me is they've given me everything. They included, which I found really interesting, they included a copy of some emails that went back and forth from one of the state reps, Sean Wilcott, and the county, because he was having some of the same issues. So they included his two emails, but still have yet to deliver me any documentation that talks about the creation, implementation, or enforcement of said resolution. And so I'm in a little bit of a, I just don't know what to do right here, because if you try to get me to believe that they created a resolution that could potentially violate the Fourth Amendment rights, that they created that with no discussion, with no debate, with no conversation. They just showed up one day and said, hey, this is a good idea. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carries. And that was the end of it. I don't buy that. I just don't buy it.
Like that it happened in one meeting?
Yeah, well, even in the meeting where they approved the resolution, there wasn't a lot of discussion. So what I'm betting what happened is there was plenty of discussion behind the scenes, but it was outside of the requirements of COMA, which is Kansas Open Meetings Act. Right. And they had the conversations on the side. See, I mean, where I live, if we have three commissioners, if two of them have a conversation, it has to be in public. That's the way it works. And so this is what I believe to happen is it happened behind the scenes. And I think I can forcibly get them in a corner on this issue that they did hold conversations outside of the rules because there's no way they could have created this resolution with no discussion. I just don't buy it.
You don't think that somebody could have come on, like, I could have come to the meeting with two people and say, hey, I want to do this resolution and this is what it is. What do you think? And you say, man, that sounds like a good idea. Give me a little more info. And then we talk about it right there. And then, but it would be in the meeting.
And it would be recorded. We have, right. I mean, this is the JC Citizen broadcaster who's in a lot of our lives. She records all of them. I watched the tape from that day.
So
there was no discussion.
Yeah.
And so anyway, here's my moral issue. We've already won, right? They rescinded the resolution. It's over. But I could push on this too. but I want to make sure. I don't think you can gain a lot of ground when you're trying to build an ally with the county, right? Because I really am. I'm not trying to just be a pain in the ass. I want us to work together. I can push it and cause a bunch of trouble, but I already won. What am I hoping to gain by pushing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and so anyway, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on how you would handle this situation. Would you just wipe your hands and say, look, we won, it's over, let's just go on?
And they can't bring it back?
They absolutely could. And then you could go back at it fighting it. But I'm under statute of limitations for my requests and stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so if I want to do something, I need to do it. But I don't really, other than just getting them busted, which, by the way, so you know, if they're busted, it's a $500 fine. So the taxpayers will have to come up with $500. You know, so I don't know what to do. Anyway, Luke the Drifter's got an idea. Notes and drafts are not generally considered records. Conversation with non-elected personnel are not generally subject to KORA. Yeah, I just have a hard time believing, and maybe it's just me being, Luke, just being freedom-minded, such a hard time believing that there wasn't some discussion amongst the commissioners about whether or not this would violate constitutional rights. Because to me, if I was sitting there in a commissioner and they started talking about that, my red flags would go off big. And wait a second. How do we do this? How do we accomplish the county's goals without infringing upon somebody's rights? Indiana Mike said they can just claim each commissioner talked to the lawyer independently, which wouldn't be a violation of COMA. Yeah, but even that, Mike, I agree with that. Okay, so let's say that's true. I still have a hard time believing that they didn't come together and have a conversation about it. It just seems absurd to me.
Unless the lawyer was the one that was having the conversation with each of them.
You've put them on notice sufficient for now. Bradford Gray says, are the meetings run using Robert's Rule of Order? Generally, yes. Loosely, but generally, yes. Yep, never pull a weapon you aren't willing to use. If they did nothing wrong, won't be a fine. If they did, need to be held accountable. Yeah, I'm very on the ropes about this because, again, part of me says, you know what? There's just no way. There's just, maybe it's my business background. You know, we sit in boardrooms, and if we're going to make a big fundamental change in something, it's discussed. We talk about, okay, what's the risk? What's the, what do you stand to win? What do you stand to lose? What's the potential outcome? What is, are there going to be any kickback? If there is, how do you deal with that kickback? I mean, we go through these things over decisions that are a lot smaller than violating somebody's, constitutional rights. Because if they violate rights, it's a big deal. Right? This is where they lose things like qualified immunity. So anyway, for those of you who are in the audience who are interested, I'd be happy to share the letters with you that I received back. But basically, they just said there's nothing else to give me. And it's funny, at the very end, they reminded me very directly at the end of the letter, don't forget this resolution has been rescinded. So they specifically pointed out there's no fight here because it's over. Luke says, not everyone is aware of constitutional issues, including elected officials. It is absurd, but that's the world we live in now, right? Prepare for the absurd. Mm-hmm. More education is needed in our communities. Yeah. That actually brings up a really good point, Luke. There's been some talk not in my homesteading community, but in the Jackson County community where I live, talking about, should we put on some KORA and COMA classes? This is what KORA is. This is what COMA is. This is how you file it. If you're curious, this is what you ask for. And that's really important because, if you miss a single word, they're not going to give you anything you don't specifically ask for. They're not going to volunteer, any of that stuff. So, doing some education level classes on how you get information out of your elected officials in a legal way, non-violent, peaceful, respectful, legal way, I think would help a lot of people. And who knows where we'll find it. But Packrat says, I think you'll find Roberts more of a guideline than a hard and fast rules. Davy Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, it's true. But anyway, what do you think about all that? Think I should just leave it be? I'm kind of leaning on the fight. We won the fight.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have a super strong case. Because again, just like what Indiana said, they'll just say, hey, we talked to the attorneys individual, right? I probably am not going to win it, but I could cause a big old storm. I think.
And you can also cause enemies. Right now
Yeah,
David
David
Bay.
says, what would happen if you took the issue to the media? So what would happen is they would call the county commissioners. The county commissioner would say, we've given them everything we have. They'd probably call the attorney general's office. The attorney general's office said, we're not going to comment.
Probably.
They would probably, I don't think it would get anywhere. Again, this is not a huge issue, right? You're talking about a crime that's punishable by a $500 fine, right? I mean, it's not like it's some, super big deal, but there's another lesson in it to say, hey, you're not getting away with that shit.
Yeah. Well, and every, this $500 and that $500 and another $500. And pretty soon it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Except that's taxpayers' money. I'm finding myself.
Well, you are, but you're also shining light on what's going on.
Right. So anyway, I don't really know what to do about it. I've been debating it for a couple days now. Part of me thinks I should just walk in, get on the agenda, walk into the commissioner's office and just say, hey, I just want to get everybody on record to make sure that I'm right. You guys had no discussions about this resolution away from the public meetings. Is that correct? And just make them state that's correct. Then once that piece is in place, then they've already admitted openly that that's the end of it. And then I have to say, so you really created a resolution that would affect the entire county and it would allow you to go onto other people's property, and you did it with no discussion? Is this typical for this commission to put these resolutions in without any discussion? Like, I would be going down those kinds of roads. I don't know. Instigator says politicians are like children. If there's no follow through on a threat, they don't think you'll do it next time either. I'm a hard ass on this. Tough love, working with addicts, gotta follow through. Mario said, if you take them to the mat on the first round for $500, who cares about the money? But if they do it again, at least it's on the record, so you have a paper trail.
That's true.
And
the $500.
Yep, the famous American Roots Farms in the house. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm searching for discernment and trying to figure out what the right answer is here. And I've got a few months to decide, but again, there's, depending on the mood you catch me in.
What's the cutoff?
I have a year. So,
yeah.
Okay. So curious as to the dates. When was the issue brought to the public? When was the rescind and when was the core request? Did your spotlight cause them to retract? Oh, yes. So when we're very lucky. I actually think, somebody correct me if I know there's somebody in the audience who can correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually believe we discovered it by the newspaper. I think, was that right?
I'm trying
to remember that they had passed the resolution. That we discovered it by the newspaper, and then we all went into, battle and said, oh no, this isn't happening. And so we go down to the courthouse and throw a big fit. And I immediately filed for the core request, which was in October of 2025. They rescinded. Was it October? God, I wish I brought that paperwork up. I should have brought the paperwork up.
Do you want me to go get it?
No, it's okay. They rescinded it almost immediately, long before my paperwork had even gone through. And so in Kansas, if you file a complaint with the Attorney General's office, they're forced to investigate. They have no choice. So they reach out to the commissioners. They go through this whole thing. And then they send me a letter. And then the attorney for the county sends me a letter. And we kind of go back and forth. Yeah, thank you, Indiana. Indiana said, yeah, that's correct. We found it in the newspaper. So it got exposed. We showed up in force. They said, this isn't worth it. And they rescinded it. And it was over. Start to finish, from the time they passed it to the time they rescinded it, maybe 2 months. I'm guessing a little bit. Again, there's people in here who, with a better memory than me, that can kind of run, good comment to that. But it was fairly quick. Jen says, so essentially the exposure to the public made the cockroaches run for cover. I think what happened is that they still believe they have every legal right to do it, but they just don't think it's worth the fight, because the fight will get brought. And, they sent me a big, long letter explaining why it did not violate our Fourth Amendment rights, even quoting the Fourth Amendment. And I don't buy it, and I don't agree with that. We have a right against illegal search and seizure. And how is, not illegal, sorry, unreasonable search and seizure. And I would consider an anonymous tip that causes them to come on your property against your consent not to be an unreasonable, that is an unreasonable search. And so what happens if, I get pulled over on the side of the road and a cop's being lippy or whatever with me, and I stand my ground and fight back, and the next thing you know, there's an anonymous tip, right? I mean, you can't play that game. And so to me, that would qualify underneath that. But it would be, again, a huge drawn out, fight on whether or not that would violate our Fourth Amendment rights. But again, they rescinded it. So, hey, look at that. East Tennessee representatives, Kent and Paula, are present. We are fostering community and relationships as our focus for this 4th of July 25th Independence Day celebration. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Hippocrates says it's called whack-a-mole, not a tap-a-mole. Yep, I think, instigator, that everybody in the live tonight firmly understands your position on this point. And I can't say that I completely disagree with you, but, I think we have to play the long game too. And anyway, I'm just hoping I can get some discernment on the issue. And I appreciate all you guys listening to me ramble, because I don't really know what to do, But anyway, let's talk about good stuff. What do you
I didn't know that you had options.
Oh, yes. Oh, you don't have to take it, babe. I'm going to tell you something. They will absolutely tell you at every corner that they're in the right and you're in the wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At every single corner. So that part doesn't bother me in the least. Now, just so you guys know, I did forward their response to the Institute of Justice out of South Carolina to ask them what their position would be on it. I have not heard back from them, but I did forward it on just to see. And I guess we'll kind of go from there. But anyway, you got some good stuff, don't you? What do you got?
I don't know. Let's go through the pictures and see
what
you
do some pictures first. You want to talk about your birds?
I have birds. I have baby birds.
B has birds coming out her ears.
There's some birds I'm keeping in here, and there's some birds that are going to live in another place. This is
how many baby birds do you have in brooders right now?
I don't know. I've lost track. But these are all very cute, aren't they?
Give us a guess.
Different sizes. I think there's probably 30 chickens in here and 10 guineas.
Mm-hmm. So you think there's 40 birds. And the guys, now this is in brooders. Keep this in mind. Okay, the story gets much worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what's in these ones. There's two layers to this. So this is some, and then there's some in.
There's another layer.
Okay, yeah.
Right? There's another layer.
Well, not layer.
So this is the brooder she's got him in right there. Why don't you tell him a little bit, because I took pictures of both your brooders. Why don't you tell him what you like about this brooder and what you don't like about this brooder?
This is lightweight. I can move it around pretty easily. It's easy to clean. This one I can just hose off because it's plastic. You can hose the whole thing off when it gets bad. What else? There's bottom trays that pull out, so the mess goes onto a tray, and then you can take the tray out and clean it instead of.
And what do you not like about it?
It's like plastic. It's like floppy.
It's not tag built.
Yeah. It's like it seems flimsy, kind of, I guess, because it's plastic. It doesn't move. It doesn't wiggle or it's sturdy, I suppose. It's just a thin layer of plastic, I guess.
It's also harder to heat. Would you agree?
Yes.
Because there's more open space.
More open space.
Like the doors don't fit.
You can see there's.
Yeah, you can see the gaps around the doors and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah, there's a tray that goes in front of each layer that holds food, but I do not use that because the dogs and other birds come up and eat out of the trays, because this is not, I wheel them out outside during the nice days so that they can get fresh air. These guys are real little, so I shut the front windows. When they get bigger, I'll open it up a little bit, let a little more breeze.
When they get too big to jump out?
Basically. Yeah.
So this
there
brooder,
were some trying to jump out.
I bought this for my wife on Mother's Day or something, right? One year.
Yeah.
And so you guys know this is the $500 brooder.
Well, and that tank on top, you're supposed to be able to put water in there, and then it's supposed to come out these tubes into each layer with little cups that they're supposed to drink out of, but they're not. I have not gotten them to work great. I just put little removable feeders and waterers in there. That way I can take them out, wash them, and put it back in. And then the other crate that I have on top is heating plates.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stack them in a crate on top, and then I wheel this in and out of the house, so that not house, but mudroom, so that they're not outside all night long.
American Ridge says it does water them. She used it.
That top thing?
Yes.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, as compared to the brooder that I built.
So this one's wooden, and it's significantly heavier. I think you could put more birds in this one too because of the square footage. I don't know what's the square footage of each.
Oh,
what has better?
That one's 2x6, so about 2 feet wide and finished space, and about 6 feet long. But
and the others are like 1 foot deep.
Yeah.
Right.
But this one's famous.
And
everyone likes this brooder.
Yeah, well, this one I can in the the very first batch of birds that I incubate, it's usually a little chilly still, so I can put them in here and I can close the lid. I open it just a little bit. I use that white bar and stick that inside so that the lid doesn't shut all the way down to allow air circulation. I don't know if they'd be able to breathe in there if I just shut it. So I let air circulate through there. And then we took that thermometer we got from the Dollar Tree or something and just bent it in a 90 degrees and screwed it to the...
Well, that way you can look through the window and you can see the temperature inside.
Yeah.
Right? Jess says, I like the box because it's flush to the front.
Mm-hmm.
But so you guys know flush to the front is a inside homesteader joke.
Not flush to the back.
Yeah. Not flush to the back, flush to the front. But anyway, those are Beast 2 brooders, and
they're used. They're used constantly.
So once they get out of the brooder, so these are the last ones that were in the brooder, right? And these are chickens.
These ones are chickens.
And so we have a series of pens that I thought I would share with you guys tonight on how we kind of run through it. One pen is kind of shitty. The other two are really good. I've just never taken time to build the first one. So we just put it up quick so the babies would be fine. And I've never really gone back to it, but this is the set that came out of the last batch. Yeah.
Clutch.
And they live in this pen. So
this pen needs to be redone.
Yeah, I see it's all droopy and all that.
This is our very first baby pen that we built.
Yeah. And this was to get it done quick so that we could get them out there.
Mm-hmm. And the turkeys have walked across the top and sank the ceiling down. And the dogs have dug at the base and have torn the wire off of the bottom. The cows actually went over where that cinder block was a couple days ago and pushed one of them, and you could tell it was a cow because it was a big divot.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else could push that wire like that. Those cows are strong.
They are strong.
And so they just pushed that wire right in. I tried to pull it out and bend it back around that T-post, but we need to redo this.
I need to build it permanently. Yeah, guys, I hate building temporary things. We talk about the homesteaders to other homesteaders about this all the time. I don't want anything temporary.
But we don't know. We didn't know what this area was going to look like, and we needed a baby.
This pen's been there a long time,
yeah,
and it works, and it does what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nowhere near these pens, right?
Yeah, these ones are easier to get in and out of.
Well, permanent.
Yeah.
And she has the chickens in the one I just showed you guys, and the baby turkeys from the last batch are growing in these two, right? You have two different batches of turkeys in here, right?
Yeah, there's the teenagers are on the side where the turkey in front is. Those are the teenage birds, and then the one to the right of that is the littler ones. Let's see, the little 30. So those are probably 30 days old.
Yeah. So these are turkeys in one pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and those are the turkeys in the other pen. They're a little bit big.
Those are about 60 days old, and they're crazy. So in here, there's 5 turkeys that look, or 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 turkeys that are speckled, like the Narragansett, and then 2 solid white.
Mhm.
Like where did I get a solid white turkey baby?
I don't know because you don't have any white turkeys.
I know.
Indiana says, of course, cows won't push on a hot wire more than once.
I wouldn't have to hot wire a lot.
I just hate the idea of temporary things.
Uh,
But in the end, what they'll turn out to be is that right there. That's a tom and a couple hens, right?
yeah.
So when will you take? I think I'm going this way. When these are about to come out, right? It won't be long, and these will be out with the flock, right?
About 30 more days.
Yeah, they're getting pretty big. How many chickens do you have not in the baby chickens you have not in the brooder?
What?
How many? Here, let me go back.
The chickens?
How many chickens do you have out here?
Probably about 30.
Okay. And then,
but I'm not keeping all of them. The white ones are all going somewhere else. So there's like 12 that I'm keeping there.
I'm totally trying to get to a point. You're just playing interference, aren't you?
No,
Okay.
There's probably 12 birds there that I'm keeping.
Okay, but you have 30 chickens.
And half of them will die.
And 10 guineas in the brooder. You have 30 here, right? That's 60.
I don't even know where your math is.
It's 70.
There's like 12.
No, that's 70. And then how many turkeys do you have in this pen?
Like 7.
So that's 77. And how many turkeys do you have in this pen?
Like 7.
So that's 84 babies you've got, right?
Right.
You agree with that number?
I guess.
That's what you should said. Because it was your number.
I'm not keeping them all though. I hatched out 80 birds and I'll probably keep 30 of them.
So you're saying you have a home for 50?
Well, you were giving birds away left and right off of the Facebook machine.
Yeah, like a dozen.
You better get busy.
So I have to get rid of them?
You were. I don't know why you would stop.
Yeah, Luke the Drifter says, Indiana is mostly right. You need some spicy wires.
Some spicy wires.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, this is the bird.
That would be ideal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want another chore to go move wires all the time?
We will.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it together. It'll be a date.
It'll be romantic?
Yes. It'll be spicy.
Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about plants?
I love grapes.
Aren't those beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
See how they're turning color?
Yeah. I see the leaves are turning color too. They were stressed.
They've gotten a lot of water. I don't know how they'd be
water
stressed.
And then lots like weather too. It's like 70 and then it's feels like 99 and then it's rainy and then it's 99.
Isn't that beautiful though? We have so many great plants. Look at that.
That looks like a bouquet.
Yes, it does.
Of food coming on.
Elderberry.
I should go out there and see if I can harvest those flowers.
Horseradish, right?
If there's anything we could do with elderberry flowers.
I think I have a picture in there. Look how beautiful that horseradish is down there.
Mm-hmm.
Elderberry. I think I've got a picture right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
So what does it B wants to know what she can do with just the flowers?
Just the flowers. Could I go out there and like tap it and get the
They could be
white?
Confetti. It could be confetti.
They're so pretty. I wonder if we can like dehydrate them or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or something. I'm going to write that down.
Oh my goodness.
Because I don't have enough to do, right?
Right. You need another chore. Because you'll have time after moving the electric fencing.
We'll do that together too.
Great. I don't need any more chores. I got plenty of chores. Hey, Rhonda, welcome in. Oh, wait, I missed a statement up here. Jen says, our sheriff lost and is moving out of the county, partly due to a couple unsolved cases and some shenanigans under his watch and a few he inherited, but has done nothing to solve. Locals have spoken. Yeah, it's actually going on everywhere across our country. You know, we talk about it all the time about the Great Awakening, but there's case after case after case every single week that I read about where people stood up and said, we're not having any more of that. Jen says immune and respiratory support. Yeah, but I think what she's asking Jen specifically is what to do with the flowers. You just put them in a bowl and eat them? Right? Like, what do you do with them?
I was gonna say something, but I'm not.
Why not?
Cause
You lose your courage?
yeah, so you could probably tincture or dehydrate or
Mm-hmm.
elderberry flower jelly syrup. I don't know.
Will Be Cool says, I planted a grape, fig, and beautyberry tree. I don't know what a beautyberry tree is last week. I was worried about them drying out. Yeah, now you're all flooded, huh? Jen says you make tea with it. So you got to get some. There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah,
You got to go out there and get some and try it and see what happens.
it'd be pretty.
Yeah, if MMR is listening, she's got some elderberry experience, right?
With the flower?
I don't know.
With the berries.
No, with the berries for sure, though, right? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Trying to beat me. But anyway, isn't that beautiful? I was going to ask the audience a question. So these are your goji berries, right?
Yeah.
When do they put berries on? Because there ain't a berry on any of them.
There's flowers on them.
But what time of year? I'm saying.
It's starting.
Okay, so here's the debate. Luke says it takes less time to move the electric fence than it does to hunt for cows or fix damage. Except I can put in permanent fences, although that takes more time, but then I don't have any ongoing chores. Right?
We got a gate that's broke.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just lifted it right off the hinge.
Mm-hmm. Jen says her hands are busy making me strawberry jam. That's so nice of you, Jen. Hey, Two Little Angels says Jessica with Three Rivers Homestead on YouTube did a syrup of elderberry flowers recently. I'll write that down, babe. Three Rivers Homestead.
Three Rivers. I've heard of them.
I don't know them. But that'd be pretty cool. So anyway, you're saying that we'll have
the berries?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the flowers and then the berries.
Okay. I would just think you'd already have berries setting on stuff like that, but maybe not.
Well, no.
That's your horseradish. Right, and you've got guinea nest in those, don't you?
Yeah, I think that the guineas, I think that those were the babies that came out of that nest, and I think they have abandoned that nest.
Okay. Could bee steals their babies?
I did.
You do?
I did. You told me not to do it anymore.
No, that's not what I said.
That's what I heard you say.
No, I know that's what you heard me say.
I heard you say we should have more babies. That's what I heard.
You should leave the guineas with a few babies because it keeps that mothering instinct thing going. If they have 30, take a bunch of them, but leave them a couple. Just like you did with your turkey. We got a turkey. It is so cute. Bee left her one baby. And her and that baby roam the 40 acres.
That baby's a teenager now.
Yeah, it's a teenager, but it is so cute. Bee let her have one. You know how happy she is that she has that one?
She is happy.
She is a happy camper, you know? Indiana says, electric fence is faster, cheaper, and more flexible, but it's a continuous chore. I agree that it's faster. I agree that it's cheaper. And I also agree that it's more flexible. I also agree it creates another chore. Jen says, making room in the freezer for some other garden stuff. Have to process fruit. Well, that's good.
Oh, there's blackberries up there.
The blackberries are ready to be picked?
That need to be picked. That's when she just said harvest fruit. I was like, oh, I got to get up there and get those so that we have the opportunity to have them.
Yeah, Mario says, I tasted the strawberry jam and it's off the hook delicious. She said she had to make it for you so you would give me windows for me to make her cold frames. Yeah. Well, here's the good news, Mario, is you can have the windows no matter what, but I'll definitely take the jam anyway. Right? So I think one of the greatest things we can do for each other as a community is when we run into these deals, just like the windows. I'll tell you guys where I got them. So the CEO of the company that I left over COVID, this is all before all that. He was having all the windows in his house replaced. And you have to understand his house is a ginormous house. And asked me if I wanted the windows. And I said, well, I really don't want the windows, but I'll take the frames. And
the frames?
The what do you call them? The piece with the glass in them. I didn't want the frame of the window. I wanted the actual window. And they're 3 foot by 3 foot. And I've got like 80 of them sitting on a pallet. So if they can go to a home somewhere where people will use them, man, how wonderful is that? I like this picture because the community building's in the background back there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Luke says one strand of electricity in front of your permanent perimeter fence makes it 10 times more effective, and your cross fencing is 10 times easier. Combination for the best win. So, Luke, I am not opposed at all to putting electric fence on my permanent fencing because I can put it in, and there's a little bit that goes into it, right? Because you'll have a branch fall on it. I mean, I grew up with electric fencing, so that's all fine. But it becomes more. I don't want to just create a whole bunch of chores. I'm just really trying to minimize that. Junk and Jody says your horseradish look amazing. Yeah, looking that beautiful. B's always digging some up. When Nidos was with us, you went up and dug up all kinds of stuff, huh?
Mhm.
So Indiana says that it will make permanent fence last a lot longer too. Yeah, this I agree with. Yeah, Conserve Friend says those windows would make a lot of cold frames. Yes, a lot. And I've been telling people for 3 years, you want them, come get them. And no one's come and got them, but they are definitely there, and they will go to somebody. And they're big triple pane.
They're big.
They're big, and they're really high dollar windows. Now they're old, right? They came out of a house, but they'll work good. All right, what does that be?
It looks like the catnip.
I just took a picture of it because it was beautiful.
Did you smell it?
No.
Well, you would know. Oh, I think, is that the one next to the fence over? Yeah. That's the apple mint.
Apple mint. Okay.
By the hay bale.
Hey, look at that. Look who we got. We got Nidos herself. Says, hello all, not home yet, but stopped for the night. Yeah, we were talking about, did you have Nidos tell us what you thought about your trip to Kansas and about all of the goodies you loaded your truck up with and left here with? And yeah, it's pretty cool. Life Micah Jensen, we are 1 hour away shortly. So excited to extend the growing season. We are
on our way shortly.
We are 1, on our way shortly. That's probably what that means. Hey, Dana Green, welcome in. Yeah, we will definitely hook you up. What's that?
Borage.
How pretty are those flowers?
Yeah, they are very. That's
like delicate.
Nothing I've ever seen before. Yeah.
They look delicate.
That must be by the tomatoes.
What kind of grass did you plant around
them? The kind that's not supposed to be there. There's a marigold over here, though. You can see.
Oh, busy hands. Yep. Busy hands is right. I think that's beautiful.
Oh, that is
something with a bunch of weeds in it.
That's mint.
More mint.
That's by the plum tree, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can tell because these yard lettuce, I'm trying to see what the head. It's taller than me. I'm trying to see what that head's going to look like.
Nita said it was an awesome visit. Very grateful. Well, we had fun with you. I don't even know what all plants did you send home with her?
Elderberry and horseradish and blackberries and a couple goji berries because they
spread. Yeah. Comfrey.
Comfrey. Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
Okay. Did she get it all? One of the really cool things about having a big food forest, and I kind of look at it like a nursery, is it goes to so many places. Look at that apple tree.
Well, those blackberries, Hacks dug some up on Sunday when they were here. And then the Ambers came over and dug some up, and then Jean got some, and then sent some with Nidos. So we've had 5 people, homesteads, blessed from just that one walkway of berries.
Yeah.
Volunteered that came up on the opposite side of the fence that I wanted them on.
Yeah, well, they're just going to continue to spread.
They're just in the walkway, so I had to get them dug up.
Yeah.
And thankfully, somebody could use them.
Yeah, well, either you dig them up and you give them out or you mow them over.
Yeah.
Those are really your choices. Guys, I might be a little sappy here, but I can't tell you how cool it is to have apples.
Yeah.
This year's the first year our apple trees have produced, and
a lot of them.
Every tree has apples on them.
Not a lot of apples.
No,
there's not like,
No, but a lot of trees have apples on them. They're all like this, where there's 6 or 8, or 3 or whatever it is on a tree. But we're finally starting to get produce
food
off of our apple trees, which they've been in the ground 4 years, 3 years.
from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, and so they're finally producing.
Look what I have created.
Yeah. People ask me all the time about, if you start a homestead, what do you start with? And, like Joe Salatin says, access and water, which those are super big things. But I'd put fruit trees right up there too, because they take a long time to produce.
They do.
They don't you just don't plant them and then boom, next thing you know, you've got, bunch.
Well, and then the wind takes them and breaks them. And then you're like, well, dang.
Yeah. These are the Arkansas black trees, I think. Look at them. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful.
That's a nice spread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we need regenerative orchards to come out and do some tree trimming classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jen says apple butter, apple pie, apple crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what order are we going to get them when you guys come out, Jen?
That looks good. Apple pie, apple butter, apple pie, apple crisp.
Yeah, Will Be Cool says, first time I have apples too if they survive the storm. Yeah, well, we're supposed to get big winds tomorrow night, so I'm hoping that they survive the storm. But they've survived so far.
Yeah, we won't get anything.
And at the end of the day, even if we don't get anything, they're finally producing, which means it's likely they'll be producing every year.
Yeah.
Right? And it should just continue.
No, I meant we won't get anything from the storm.
Yeah, I hope that's true.
We'll get food.
Yeah, I hope that's true. We'll see how well it goes. But, oh yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you guys. So guys, I actually shared with you this picture last week on the live. This is a row of tomatoes that MMR, B, Jess, the Ambers. I don't know who's all worked with these with you. Am I missing anybody that actually worked on these?
These are the Romas, I think. So yeah. I think these were Jen started these in a snail roll back in
So Jen started
April.
them. Okay, got it. So anyway, the Crazy Lady crew, the Wood Witch crew, decided that they would plant these. But anyway, this is last week. And so pay attention to the height of the grass and the height of the tomato plants. If you look right kind of beside them to the right, furthest away from B and I, you'll see those are the blackberries they dug up was from right there. That's the row that was encroaching, right?
Yeah.
And you guys dug up? Yeah, that's what I thought. Because you can see the trampoline right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's this week. Look at how much taller the grass is, how much taller this is the exact same row, how much taller the tomatoes are.
I can't tell.
You go back? Go back.
How tall are they?
Okay, so look, they're up. What, maybe?
1, 2 bars?
2, yeah. And then look here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars.
Yeah. And that's 1 week. Absolutely 1 week. Nito says having access and water in place helps to know where the trees need to go through. Jen says they have to finish, then they can be processed, but we can make a mock pie with a pumpkin like Ma on Little House. Or I could just
mock apple.
Or I could just secretly go buy 7 cases of apples and have them waiting for you. Which I would do.
For apple pie.
Or for whatever.
Hoping
because I know you guys will have a hard time keeping busy.
No.
But isn't that crazy in 1 week? And then I did the other tomatoes too. So this was the week ago. I shared this picture. Again, on the live.
Because you just put that hay bale there.
I just put it there and see how tall the grass is, right? And these tomatoes are maybe up, maybe 4 runs, maybe 5, right? Look at it now.
Yeah, they're almost to the top of the white on that side.
And that's 1 week. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I need to get in there. And
one really cool thing about doing lives with all you people is that I get to look at the progress. You get to see it. Because you take a snap.
From 1 week to the next.
Kind of a snap shot in time. Let's see here. Jen says, I have a case of F quartz from last fall. I'll just bring a few. Well, here's the good news. My wife is a canning jar collector. Would you agree?
We use them. We have to have them.
How many jars do you suppose you own that you've never used?
Like 100.
Oh, I love you, B. You're my buddy. Yeah. Check out the dill.
That looks like...
That's a forest of dill.
Yeah. Looks like fireworks.
It does look like fireworks. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, this is one little patch of dill.
One of 3 patches of dill, by the way.
It's about
But if that deal is
4x8.
as tall as she is.
It is.
You know, Junk and Jody says, holy cow, that's an amazing comparison of the tomatoes. Yes, it's amazing what 1 week does. You know, Dana says, wow. I meant quarts of apple pie filling. Oh, yes, you should definitely bring some so that we can taste test it prior to you guys canning more. I agree. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have a jar of her apple pie filling.
Yeah. Isn't that deal pretty? So pretty.
Yes, I'm waiting for those seeds to
grow. Well, again, this patch is as tall as you are, so I was going to call you. You weren't around, but when I was taking this picture, I'm like, I wonder where B is, because getting you standing next to it would give this, well, it just would give it justice.
It would, yeah.
Yeah, you know, because it's just, you know, ginormous. Let's see here. Mario says, I have learned that mason jar math is like chicken math. 1 mason jar equals 20. B probably only has a couple hundred mason jars, right? Yeah. That's so true. I've made mock apple pie out of chayote. I don't even know what that is. You know, okay, so Skane's girl's a little bit crazy, so she probably meant peyote.
I doubt it.
So Skane's girl saying she's made mock apple pie out of peyote and it was delicious. Jen says, Mario, hold your tongue. You're going to have to share your peyote recipe with us, Skane's girl. All right, what do you got here? This stuff is so tall.
Cosmos.
Just random flowers in the middle of your food course.
How do you bring pollinators in?
I don't. I build
flowers.
I build dirt mounds and let you bring pollinators in.
Yeah, flowers.
Mm-hmm.
These are cosmos. And some that's comfrey on the side there. One really tall thing is not supposed to be there.
There's a lot in there that's probably not supposed to be there.
Probably. There's actually, this is where the dogs get the rabbits every time.
Out of the cosmos?
Yeah. That's why there's like there's trails in there. Yeah.
Jen says it's like squash tag. What's like squash? You're talking about we didn't show any cow shit piles, did we? Wonder what she's comparing the squash to.
The jars?
Hey, Amy B, welcome in. Says I've made pineapple and jerky out of tromboncino.
Yeah,
you have tromboncinos planted, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like the shrimp scene from Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrimp scampi.
Yeah.
Boiled shrimp.
Look at that food forest behind you. It is getting fuller and fuller and fuller. There's elderberry.
Yeah.
Those are onions, right?
Onions.
Yeah.
Lilies in there. Those lilies I planted before there was mint. The mint just grew around it. So it's like right at this time of year, those naked lilies pop up and then they die off. And then I'm always like, oh, I'm going to go dig those up, get those out of there when the mint, before the mint comes in, because the mint has grown beyond its borders.
Oh my goodness, that's great. Jen says chayote is a squash. Oh, but she meant peyote.
No, she did not.
I have been nursing dill plants. I'm going to show them your video and let them know they better get it together. Yeah, they're her deal, like it wherever that happens to be. Dana Green says eye candy. Amy B says I'm planting corn for the 4th time tomorrow. I didn't take a picture of your corn. Your corn's actually starting to do pretty good.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Didn't I send you a picture? Because I planted the squash in there.
Yeah, I didn't see one. But
there was some squash in the greenhouse, and there was some squash that had gotten chewed up by the squash bugs, and so I had taken those plants out and I replaced them with other squash.
So when you tell me that you don't like something, something that we eat or whatever it is, I just stop buying it and stop eating it, and I figure we can find something that we both like.
That's not true.
So why do you plant squash?
That's not true.
It's true.
That is not accurate.
It's true.
No, it's not.
It's true.
Because I would always say, don't give the kids grape soda, and you're like, it's good, they want to try it, and I'm like, no, it's poison, and you're like, okay,
for you and me.
No, or the orange pop, or the green pop, or the red pop. And stop buying them poison.
How much pop's in the refrigerator right now?
Not a lot, but I'm just saying.
There you go.
You
guys like how the problem answers itself?
They grew up. They
moved out.
Pops.
Amy B says, currently harvesting duckweed out of the pond for fertilizer. I'd love to do that. And we have a ton of it too. So
for fertilizer.
Yeah, there's
mulch.
Ton of it. All right, what do you got there? Those are black raspberries. We got
our very first sunflowers.
Oh yeah, look at
that. They're not as big as like big ones, but they're there. Some blackberries.
Skates Girl says, laugh out loud. Peyote. It's also known as Merleton in the South. See, she brought some with her. I told you it was peyote. Told you. Yep, that's the blackberry bush that you keep taking from, right?
Yeah, basically.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Toby Baldwin from Road Mountain, Tennessee. What is up? How are you? Long time no see. All right. Forget the first picture because it's apparently I stretched it, but those are pawpaw trees that were eaten off the top that she saved.
Oh yeah, the goats ate the top of the pawpaw trees off of, and some of them are only like 2 inches, but it's trying to produce a little leaf. And I thought, well, I'm going to just keep that going and get it to be a tree again, and then I'll plant it.
How are your pawpaw trees you put in the food forest?
They're doing good.
Are they? I haven't looked at them.
Leaves on them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all doing pretty good.
Okay.
Not like bushy, but they're still alive.
They're great. Okay. And what's the middle picture? You sent this to me. That's
it. Yeah, that's in the 30 Sisters garden.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the
So it's a squash.
Melons of some kind. No, it could be a melon. I'm not sure what all Jess and MMR put those in there. And I think they had put in a cantaloupe. They'd put in a summer squash. They had put in there's several different melons or squash in there.
Yeah, so this is
so you could see that little
little ball in there. And the picture on the right is your cilantro you let go to seed, right?
Yeah, that's becoming a problem.
Just collect the seed off of it. Baby.
Well, so that is the row that the peppers are in.
And because they're not in there anymore. They might have been in there, but if that's where you planted the peppers, they're gone.
The cilantro is so ridiculously out of control. I did try to pull the cilantro away where the peppers were. And even MMR was like, what's the plan with the cilantro? And I was like, I'm going to let it go to seed, and then I'm going to grab the seed, and then I'm going to cut it down. And then she was like, okay. I could tell in her face that she was like, I would not be doing that.
She thinks you're crazy?
Probably.
Well, the good news, MMR, if you're listening out there, I think she's crazy too. So,
yeah. I have a few peppers that are still in the greenhouse that I'm going to put somewhere else.
You better get them out. Time's ticking. It's
June.
Nito says squash is good for animal feed as well as good companion plant for other plants to grow better.
Yep.
Jen said wild pawpaw are tall and spindly in the woods behind the house. And Toby says, I'm dealing with follicular. I don't know if I said that right, lymphoma, but doing all right now. Well, Toby, I know there's a lot of prayer warriors in here tonight, and I'll guarantee you that they'll add you to their prayers and just keep doing all right. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't know your peppers were in there.
Yeah.
See, Skainsgirl says it is peyote. Only certain tribes are legally able to use actual peyote. Shayot is part of the gourd family. I like my story with the peyote much better, Skainsgirl. Just saying. Yeah, see, there's a prayer right there. What's the salsa secret when cilantro is so early and tomato and onions are later?
Right.
What's your secret?
Well, I had always tried to keep it going. Like after one bolts, I would try to, or when I thought one was getting that way, I would try to keep it growing with the seed. But that was at the other house, and it was easier to do because it was a spot. I
And
guess
you didn't have so much to do.
that's true.
Yeah. Did you when you pulled the overgrown cilantro away from the peppers? Were the peppers plant still there?
Yes. Yeah, there are peppers in there. There are peppers in there. I took some of this cilantro and dehydrated it on in the dehydrator at like 100 degrees for
And so who's
couple days
who's
trying to
managing the
get it
process?
to-
Who needs to
What?
have a production meeting
for what?
for overgrown cilantro and covering
It's not overgrown. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like when you're trying to get seed from it. You're supposed to say, "Good job, B."
Jet
And then,
said
"You're welcome."
succession planting.
Yeah.
In the past, B would dehydrate her cilantro and then save it for when we made salsa, right?
Well, the succession planting is best because if you could get it fresh, that's what you want.
Mm.
I mean, but yeah, the next best thing is trying to preserve it somehow, some way.
Yeah. Amy says, but then it's a coriander.
The seed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. So my goal is to save the seed for next year. That's what I need. That is for next year, or for coriander, but typically it's for next year. The succession planting, when you are planting it every so many days, then as that one is bolting, the next one is ready to harvest, and then the next one is not ready to harvest but growing, and then the next one is just emerging, and then the next one is you're starting to seed, so that when it's coming on, you're getting the seed, and then you're using that one, and then you're waiting for those ones to then come to maturity. And then you start all over again.
Luke says trample around the peppers in the cilantro. It should open up the canopy and still let most of it go to seed. That's a good idea.
I do. Because there is a lot there. And two, I've noticed on the cilantro, the ones that were really heavy and kind of laid down, they laid down, but then you can't see me. So like the plants were up and then they laid down, but then they started to grow back up again. So I think that I can go out there and kind of peel it away a little bit from where they are. I did go in there when the peppers were growing, or when I put them in there, after I put them in there. And the cilantro was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I was stripping. So if there was a pepper like right here, I was stripping everything off of that cilantro that was against that pepper or next to that pepper. So if you go over there, it looks like a giant bush, but if you go over there and look at it from the side, you'll see like there's a bush and then a cutaway spot and then like a bushy spot and then a cutaway spot. It's like where the pepper is, there's a hole in the cilantro.
There's a hole. There's a hole at the bottom of the seed. You look at those prayers. Junkin Jody and Louise both are sending prayers your way, Toby.
Yeah, we'll keep you in our prayers.
Yeah, this was an interesting experience. So this was after the breakfast that we had last Sunday. Yeah. You know what I'm going to show, right?
Yeah.
And so my buddy Hitch, who's lives right across the road from me, brought over a jackfruit. And I'd never eaten a jackfruit. Had you?
No.
And it was really weird. It smelled
funky,
like onions or something, right?
Yeah, sulfury.
On the outside. And had these big, weird looking seeds. And then, so basically he cut it up and we ate it. Actually, it was decent, but very odd. I don't know if you guys have ever had.
What do you say? It was like kind of like the cross between a peach and a mango. And then that white circle on the inside is latex. So it gums up your knife. So he has water. He has to like rinse his knife in as he's cutting it. And then if you get a piece of like flesh that you're going to eat and you get some of that white on there, your lip is like stuck together. And you're like, oh, you're trying to peel that off of your mouth. And it was like, you got to get a napkin and get that latex. It tastes like latex too. It's pretty gnarly.
Jen says can also use the coriander for rubs and such for all that delicious beef.
That's right.
So you guys ever had jackfruit? Because again, I had not.
And this fruit was
Let me go back.
the size of a watermelon. It was very large.
Yeah. So what are you doing here, B?
That's the dill.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting it off the big stems and
what are you going to do with it? Because I thought the dill you used in pickles was just the seeds.
no, you use both.
Both? Okay.
You can get like fancy pickles with like these big sprigs of dill in there.
Oh, okay. We have dill coming out our ears. So any of you guys who are coming out to the festival on July the 11th, bring us something from your neck of the woods. Nothing special, just a little plant of some kind. And we'll send you back with Kansas plants of some kind. Because you'd like to expand and have more variety, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Yep.
Depends on in July, though, what's available.
Oh, that's true. It would be July, huh? Let's see here. Those are wild all over the Hawaiian Islands. They usually have them in the honor boxes along the roadsides on the island. Because they're super common. You know, I've only been to Hawaii once. Me and B got married in Hawaii. And what I remember is there's chickens everywhere.
There are.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't really remember. There was coconut trees everywhere, too. There's a lot of those.
Coconuts.
Few banana trees, but...
And lots of pretty flowers.
Yes, but I don't remember ever seeing a jackfruit when I was there. Do you?
No. I really wasn't looking either, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nor would I have known what it was. We saw bananas. We saw...
Yeah, bananas and coconuts, pineapples. Will Be Cool says, make cucumber salad with sour cream and dill.
Yum.
Like that idea?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. What else we got going on your list today? Speaking of all the beef, this is the view, as many of you know, from the community building. And I just happen to be standing out there. All the cows, this is all of our cows. This is all we have. And they are these 6. Look how big the baby's getting. But now we have one due, hopefully still, but this is our entire cow herd right there mowing the community building. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of you guys know, but some of you don't know that where those cows are, where that pond is. When we moved here was solid woods. We cleared all of that in order to dig that pond. We cleared all of it in order to put the community building up. But that they're trying to take over, trying to do their thing. And Mario, for you, who's in the audience, grass is growing. We still got some bald spots, but it's a whole lot better than it was. Jen says papaya, mango, starfruit, and apple bananas. Free food growing everywhere. Grab a chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of chickens. One of the things that fascinated me about Hawaii, they said they don't have any snakes. Remember that?
Really?
You remember her saying that they don't have snakes on the island? Now, we were in Kauai, so I don't know if this is true on every island. What was the story they told about the little men? Menahui? What's it called?
Isn't the Menahui?
Menahui, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. Anyway, they told the story about these little men, but I won't bore you guys with it. But, okay, so I want to tell you guys a funny story. So I got, it's actually just 3,000. I got corrected by the king to inform me that my black tank, because, back up. So I got this black tank because the king found a deal on tanks. If anybody wants to buy tanks cheap, he's the guy.
Yeah, go find him.
Yep. So these are about $2,500 new. Anyway, we bought them for like $750, something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it was something like that. And I've been quoting that I'm putting in a 3,000 gallon tank because now my next task is to get rainwater into the barn. And yeah, Jen says Menahuni. Yeah. But put it in the barn. And so he's correcting me and he said, no, they're not 3,000 gallon tanks.
That's 2,500.
2,500 gallon.
And I said,
you're just a sales guy.
2,500.
So I went and took a picture. And up at the top, around the lid.
The circle that goes up higher than the dome.
Yep, that's right. But up on top right there, it says 2,500.
Like the manhole.
/3,000. And so I took a picture of it and I sent it to the king. And, like thinking I was going to get some kind of redemption. You know what he sent back to me? He said, you and your AI. But you've seen it. I purposely, Your Highness, I purposely walked B over to it. Like, come here, B. You're my witness.
You and your AI.
So if you go look at the top of your tank by the lid, it says, sir, respectfully, Your Highness, it says 3,000 gallons on
It does.
it. Just saying. So anyway, I feel redemption. That's what I'm working on right now is I'm going to take that tank now and I'm going to get it up off the ground about 18 inches so that B can slide a bucket. So if I don't have power someday, she can actually fill it, fill a bucket with it. But then we're going to pump it in with a pressure tank and all that stuff. Mario's going to come out and help me here at some point. And we're going to try to get that whole rainwater system in because she has water in her barn now, but it's well water. And the well is I kind of like to reserve it for me and B, right? It's our house water. And so I want to try to use rainwater for as much as I can. So this is the project coming up. And it's funny, I built that whole thing in the barn, the grain room and the clean room and the dog kennels really to get to this project. And so I'm closing it. I've started on the base. I didn't include any pictures, but I'll get pictures when I get it all done. But I've already started on it. And so hopefully this next week I'll have some time to get back in there and keep on keeping on, right?
Yep.
That would be the goal. Oh yeah, this was funny.
Oh,
so
I said stand up straight.
Yeah, the second picture over there, she told me to stand up straight. So, and
that is what he thinks stand up straight means. I said stand up straight,
yeah, but
he goes.
Yeah, Gypsy says, make sure you don't go too high or you won't be able to fill it from the gutters. Yeah, I actually, sir, got up and measured. And I know exactly how high I can go. And I think you can actually get it up about 22 or 23 inches, but I won't go that high. But anyway, if you guys remember the joke from earlier, flush to the front, see my shirt says flush to the front.
Oh, because the gutters aren't up that high.
Well, you got to take into account where the gutters sit and then how it turns. You got to be able to drop it and then down at an angle. You got to be able to do all that. That's why I had you holding the tape measure for me at that when we were in there. I was trying to figure out what was remember how we were leveling over from the tank and I was using a tape measure and all that? I was trying to figure out what that was. But the first picture is the funny picture. So B brought me a sandwich, and the only way I could eat in peace is I had to climb the ladder to escape from the goats.
Oh my gosh, they were like all over him.
Yeah, this is inside of B's clean room if I ever get it done. But anyway, I'm eating my sandwich on the ladder, so the goats will leave me alone. Yeah, they're funny. I wanted to include this picture. This picture I've had from a while, but this is Mike and Jen, and they sent me these pictures, and I don't know any of the background on it, but how cool is that?
That's awesome.
That is like really, really cool.
It's a baby.
Yep. When they're not the same deer. I mean, picture one and picture 3 could be the same deer.
Yeah, that's when it was a baby.
But
and it grew up, and they put a tick collar on it, and now it's a teenager.
I'd love to know more about the story, Jen. Share with us. Or Mario, share with us. But isn't that the coolest thing ever? Like, I just really love that. We get deer in our yard. They'll get fairly close. You know, I've gotten, 20 feet from them and they just kind of look at me, but I've never even gotten close to petting one.
No.
Have you?
No, there was a mama and a baby on the back deck, remember? And I was, or right at the back deck, and I was on the back deck. And I came out of the house and thought, and I was like, oh, I want to touch your baby. And the mom snorted at me. And I was like, no, never mind.
Is that all I got to do to get you in check, a snort at you?
I did not want to. I turned and went back the other way.
Louise says it's a great story. Yeah. I just think it's beautiful. And that can't be the same deer. I wouldn't think. Maybe it is all the same deer. I don't know. Do they lose their spots? Yeah. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know.
Yep.
I have no idea. I just know that that's really, really cool. Let's see here. Jen says, he is the same deer, little Dwayne. The baby shows my foot after I fed him last May, and the others are from a couple weeks ago. He's an orphan rescue. Oh, look at that. So I get it. That's cool. So let me see. How long ago? What's the time span, Jen, between those?
That was May, and this was just now.
So not just like this last year. May? Well, May was a month ago.
Yeah, so
the picture, the difference between these pictures are a month, or is it a year and a month?
A year and a month.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's amazing. And for an animal to trust you like that. Yeah, I think it's just way cool. Anyway,
You have to gain that trust.
yeah. Maybe you got to explain these pictures. These are the ones you sent me late.
Well, this was right here on the back of the house.
That a red-tailed hawk up there?
No, it's like a buzzard.
Oh, vulture.
Like, oh man, that thing is big.
Okay. Yeah. Jen says he is a year old now, May 2025, and then end of May 2026. Okay, cool. Hey, Mr. Dan Redding. What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
So you took a picture of the vultures in the trees?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the picture of all these dead plants laying around?
No, those aren't dead plants. Those are comfrey.
And you just
I planted the moringa, which is what those are.
Okay.
And then I used the comfrey and put the comfrey around it. I chop and drop.
Okay.
I chop and drop.
Okay.
And then I put red leaf basil around the perimeter of the moringa.
Okay. I think planting moringa is a complete waste of time. But you go, girl.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I just don't understand the purpose of it.
I know.
But you know what the good news is? I don't have to understand it.
Right. You just have to eat it.
And look at that. Louis says, "Yeah, B, you did it." Yeah. Let me see. If you don't spot your deer frequently enough to turn plain brown, if you don't spot your deer frequently enough, they turn plain brown. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. We have plenty of deer, but I don't really pay that much attention to them. I just kind of leave them alone. Yeah, and Jen says it's food and fodder. No, it's not. You guys say it is food and fodder. When's the last? You've been growing moringa for how many years?
This is the second year.
Okay.
These were the ones that overwintered in the cold room.
Okay.
Or the basement.
Okay. So
not basement, the mudroom.
How much of their leaves have you fed something to? Have you?
You've eaten them.
How much have I eaten? A tablespoon?
Like over the course of us being together?
Yeah. Oh no, over the course of the last year, which is the same time frame you're talking about.
Okay, 1 year, probably a couple tablespoons.
Okay. So you went through all that work. You put it in the basement. You go and do all this to get it planted for a tablespoon.
Yep.
How does that seem productive in any way?
Because they're high in nutrition.
Man, that tablespoon must be like
banging. It's a superfood.
Banging.
It's a superfood.
Yeah, Jen says, "Trust me, you've eaten it." I don't doubt that.
Trust me.
To me, is the juice worth the squeeze? And the amount of work that goes into it, is it worth it in the end?
Yeah, I think that if we had to live off of the food that was on our farm, that you would be grateful that we had diversity.
Why do you guys always go there?
What?
I would be grateful for the willow branch if I was hungry. That doesn't change anything.
Darn tootin'.
Oh. Luke says, "Sorry, that wasn't that punny. Dad jokes." Okay, I got to read it again. Okay, hold on. If you don't spot your deer frequently enough, they turn. Oh, like I got to spot them. Like walk around with a blotter. Dana Green says it was punny. Once the roots are established, they'll blow up and we will have loads of production. Okay. How are the roots ever going to get established if you dig them up every year? Please tell me this.
They just do.
Oh my goodness. You guys see what I have to deal with. You all feel sorry for me, don't you? It's all about production. It's all about production. And that's a lot of work for 2 tablespoons. Anyway. Oh, let me tell you guys this story. This is a really cool gig. So, I have a couple that I met from not very far from here, a little bit south in Kansas, who wanted to put in a solar system. And they asked me if I had any connections to panels, and I have great connections to panels. And so, but my connection, you got to buy them in big quantity. And you guys remember I did a YouTube video on it where we all got together as a community and bought a whole truckload of solar panels.
Yeah.
Big flatbed came in and we unloaded them, and then they all went away, and it was a super proud moment.
It was fast too.
Yeah, it was fast and it was cool.
Convenient.
Well, it's there's enough people looking for solar panels. I reached back out and said, "Hey, what kind of deal? What's your best deal you got?" And he said to me, "Well, I've got these Canadian Solar bifacial 355 watt panels." And so we went back. They're new, grade A, all of these things. And so I said, "How many you got? How many you want to sell?" He said, "Well, I'd like to sell 750 of them." But that's a lot. I mean, how do you deal with 750 panels? And so I said, "Well, what if I did a half a load? Can you recalculate it for me?" And so he made me a deal that if we would take 380 panels, he'd sell them to me for $57 a piece. So to put this into perspective, I snip clipped a couple places online that had them. One had them for 193, one had them for 154. The cheapest I found was 107, but they didn't have any in stock. So at the cheapest one, it's 50 cents on the dollar. The most expensive one, it's 25 cents on the dollar. But anyway, I secured a load of 380 panels for $57 a piece. And I got them all sold. So now what we're doing is we're just trying to see if anybody else wants any more, because I can get up to 750. And so we're just working on seeing how many of them I can sell. If I could get all 750 sold, it would move everybody's price down to 47 bucks a panel, which is really nice. But I think I've got 400 and some change, low change as far as already spoken for. So I have a long ways to go.
So you have a half a load.
I have the full half load already secured. So we'll see what comes from it. But I just figured I'd tell you guys that what a wonderful benefit to having community.
Yeah.
Right. Because you can't get this.
Amen.
You can't get this deal buying 30 of them.
Right.
There's the only way you get this is with a semi, that's it. Let me see here. Jen says they get bigger every year, and we had a short growing season last year.
The moringa.
Yeah, but how, again, you didn't answer my question, Jen. How do the roots get established per your last comment? Okay, let me put it back up there so I can remind you what you said. Once the roots are established, they blow up and we'll have loads of production. How do you get the roots established if you're digging them up every year?
They establish while they're growing. And then you dig them up and
you guys make no sense.
And then the root is bigger next year, and then it's bigger the next year.
Anyway, if there's anybody out there that's interested in solar panels, that wants me to have some ordered in, this is delivered to my front door.
And so you got to come get them.
You got to come get them, and I don't have any way to store them. So when they show up, they're going to sit outside on a pallet until they're picked up. If someone needed me to store 10, that's pretty easy, but there's no way I could store 3.
I don't know. Where are you going to put 10?
I can find, my point is that's a lot easier than trying to find a place to put 300.
Glass.
I mean, that's over 10 pallets.
Yeah.
I have no way to store all of that. So anyway, you guys know how to get a hold of me if you guys are interested. That's to me is an incredible deal. And a whole bunch of people are going to get a little bit freer right here, which I think which is super, super, super exciting in my opinion. But anyway, that's the latest deal. We've done all kinds of things. We've done field fencing we bought in bulk. Hardy board concrete siding we bought in bulk. What else we bought in bulk? Solar panels. I don't remember anything else.
Manure.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of that.
That was bulk.
Yeah.
Bulk poop.
Yep. How many people can raise their hand and say they bought bulk poop? Let's see here. Tulip Industries says smoking deal on solar panels. Wish I wasn't 3,000 miles away. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd love to bless as many people as I can, because that is a great deal. Like I said, on a brand new bifacial panel. But let's see here. Jen says they were not in the ground very long last year, so they didn't have much time to grow bigger in the short time they were in the ground. This year, they're already a few weeks ahead of last year. Okay, so what you're saying is the root you dig up is going to be bigger.
It will be bigger.
Oh, my goodness.
It will be more established.
Oh, my goodness. Gratitude to Grace says we're about a year or so away from being ready for solar panels. Yep, but you can store them. Gratitude to Grace. You can absolutely store them. And I know you guys are coming out for the festival. We can absolutely send you home a truckload of them very easily.
You think we'll get them before then?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to order them here in a few days, probably. I'm just trying to see if I can get anywhere close to that 750 number, because, again, it drops the price $10.
Yeah.
I mean, so think about it like this way. It's 750 panels. If I can drop it $10, that saves the group $7,500.
Yeah.
Right? That's significant, babe. That's a significant savings. What can we do with $7,500?
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to do the best we can do, but pretty good deal. Don't forget the Freesteading website is back up and running. The apps are back up and running. We'd love to see people have people participate. I'd love to continue to try to grow these community efforts. It's free, costs you nothing. More importantly, though, I'd love to see you guys chit-chatting and those forums being filled. It's growing, but it's growing slow. So I'm just going to continue to talk about it. Her friend says, I wish you were closer. Yep, I don't know how far I am from you, but
just to drive away.
yeah, I know. I was trying to say that incognito-ish. Freedom Fest, July the 11th. Don't forget that that's coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got fireworks. Lots of activities, lots of food. Really, it's just a time to hang out and chit chat and talk to everybody. And
yeah,
if you want to feel normal, this is a great place to go because every single person, right, is a homesteader, a prepper.
There's all something. Kinds of different people that come.
But
and if
lots of like-minded. Her friend says Maryland. Yep. And Jen, thank you for the freestanding link. Yep, right there. So we're really looking forward to seeing all you guys. I'll build a new ad maybe for the next live. This live, I ran out of time. I was struggling to get it all in time. So I just used the same one from last week. Hope you guys don't mind. But let's see here. Gratitude to Grace said, how many can fit in a Honda Pilot? Asking for a friend. I don't know. Is that Honda Pilot towing a U-Haul trailer?
Yeah.
Right? Because if that's the case,
a roof rack.
Yeah, well, no, a little small U-Haul trailer, you might put a pallet in there, which is 32, by the way. But
they come standing up on
up on end,
and they're usually strapped pretty good.
It's only going to be 4 foot wide by about 6 feet long, and then in a box.
They're the same size as the last ones.
No, they're the same size as the ones on the house. They're not. The other ones we got were 565.
Oh yeah, because we have 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Two. So those are much smaller.
Right. And then mark your calendars. The Harvest Fest will be September the 26th. So the date's set, but none of the information on this flyer is correct because I have no idea what they're doing. I'm not in charge of it. You're going to have to ask the Hacks and the beautiful Louise Wesley for details because I don't have them. But at some point they'll get them to me. And then I'll be done. But I just want to make sure I mark the spot September the 26th. And we'll get talking about the Festivus too. We should pick a date pretty quick here. That way I can get that one out there too.
Okay.
And that's for you and MMR to decide.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know. Did she say she was going to help?
Well, she helped. She did. She was the other half.
She helped last year. She's already stuck.
Yeah, it's voluntold stuff, but no. But if we pick a date, we can at least just, put it out there, which would be pretty cool. Right.
That is thunder.
It is.
I keep hearing.
It is.
Good grief.
I know, right?
I didn't think we were supposed to be getting anything else.
So Gratitude to Grace says, how many can you fit in a Honda Pilot? You want to try? We've got some pretty creative people in this community.
I put a futon in a Jeep Liberty.
You miss your Jeep Liberty? Probably not compared to your Gladiator.
Yeah.
No?
I like the truck bed.
Yeah. What's it like having a truck bed?
I can throw stuff back there, put the trash back there, and haul it up to the dump.
B has her first truck. No, I've had trucks for years.
I'd like to get a camper on it so that I can go to Sam's Club and get cases of toilet paper and not have to worry about it getting wet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
Dry TP.
Amy B says, I have 3 moringas in the greenhouse. See, this makes sense to me. And especially if you're in a place you could grow it year round where you're not disturbing the roots. Now it makes maybe some sense. But Jen says, I put 4 Myers lemon trees in a Prius. Yeah. So we'll turn the question around, Gratitude to Grace.
How
if
many?
Jen can put 4 Meyer lemon trees in a Prius, how many panels can you put on a Pilot?
Yeah, we would like to know that also.
And Indiana Mike says the question really should be, how many can you put on a Honda Pilot? We're a super bad influence, Gratitude to Grace, just telling you. Super, super bad. All right, you want to get on to some anything that I didn't cover on your list, Miss B?
We had our wedding anniversary.
Oh yeah, we had our wedding anniversary. How long have we been married?
15 years.
Yep.
Married 15. Yep.
Yep. Together 21. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep. We dated for a long time before we got married. She was so stubborn; she just wouldn't do it.
Just needed you to change those items.
I love that you play along. I'll tell you guys the truth, the whole thing. She was chomping at the bit of year 2.
I said, we're not going to be dating in year 3, buddy.
No. I finally gave in year 7 or whatever, but 6 or 7. Okay, Amy B says, we could totally play the game of what you can fit in a Prius. Amy B says, tag, you can put anything in a meatloaf. And I'm sure they have, just for the record.
That's where that moringa goes.
All right, you want to get to some good news before we get out of here?
Sure, yeah. You're almost.
All right, let's do it. Well, there's lots of crazy stuff going on, as you guys can imagine. Start with some of the U.S. news stuff going on around here. North Carolina officials approve a 40% rate hike on residents' water bills. And what's crazy about this particular area is they can't cancel their subscription. They cannot go to another provider. They can't even negotiate because Carolina Water is the only provider. And now that the monopoly is going, they have them paying a lot more on their water bills. The North Carolina Utilities Commission gave Carolina Water Service the green light this week for a rate increase totaling 40% rolled out over the course of 3 years. I put this article out there, guys, really just to continue to press to you guys and to talk to you guys about getting out of the system, get out of that link. And, if my local water company decided to raise the bills, it would not affect me in any way because I don't use them.
Right. 40% is significant.
A lot.
Good grief.
Well, yeah. Well, but now it's not just 40%. You also got to remember over the course of that same time frame, let's say those 3 years, was the dollar going to lose another 10%, let's say? So even you're going on a 10% number, that's a 50% increase over the course of 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're just keep taking until there's nothing left to take. So what we have to do is we have to create processes and systems that allow us to be less and less dependent on it. That does not mean you have to shut off the water meter tomorrow. What that means is go get rainwater storage.
Right.
Go do some things that give you some options to use less water. That would be a great place to start, just to say, hey, I have to be on the grid for water, but how do I use 10% less?
Yeah, flush the toilet with rainwater.
Right. Well, what else can I do, right? Even water the plants with rainwater.
Right.
We talk about rainwater in the barn. The main reason I want it is not because she doesn't have water there, because she has water there. The main reason is I'm going to stop using the well, that source of water, and I want to try to use rainwater for the animal needs. Not only that, I want her, when she goes to fill up the bee machine to go water the gardens, she does it all with her bee machine. Instead of going to the well to pull the water, I want her to pull up to the barn, and Mario and I, we're going to wire a spout right off the side of the barn that's high that she can walk right up to, open a valve, fill her tank, and go water.
Yeah. Which I would prefer to do rainwater instead of well water anyways.
Yeah. Amy says, whoa, deal. Mario says, I could teach a class on how to conserve water. You should. When can we sign you up? I like all that. Breaking news, chaos erupts outside federal courthouse in St. Paul, Minnesota, as Antifa supporters rage over the arrest of 15 of their alleged comrades. So if you guys know, they just recently arrested a whole bunch of the Antifa members up there, Antifa members up there, and all kinds of riots are breaking out, and there's chaos. I think that today people are just looking for a reason to riot, like whatever it is. But this is going on all over the world. American Root said, I'm the first student in the class. Let's just make it happen. Mario, let's just make it happen. Tell me when you can do it. Third world illegal alien was just arrested for raping a sleeping 16-year-old girl during an armed home invasion in Nashville, Tennessee this week. And again, this is going on all over the world. And it's hard to find it. It's something that's so crazy is that the stories, like a lot of the stories that I bring up, you'll never see on mainstream media. I got to research them, and then I find them and like, okay, is this true? Can I find another source? And so I go digging for another source, and I try to validate the post because it's so hard to tell what's true is false. I was actually reading an article from you guys will find this ironic a little bit, but from a lesbian PhD professor that was talking about the big challenge for today is that whatever your reality is, you can find evidence to substantiate. That truth no longer exists. It was really a smart article. But she went on and on just to talk about how whatever we want it to say, we can make it say. And so I think we really have to question the narrative at every front. Let's see, earth-shattering update. White House UFC terror plot was worse than they knew. If you guys, and I'm sure most of you guys know this, there was a terror plot to blow up the UFC fights that were going on at the Capitol building. An Ohio mom's desperate call to police just saved America from pure hell. 19-year-old Tyson Prosper and four co-conspirators across multiple states plan to unleash explosive drones slamming the north side of the UFC Freedom 250 arena at the White House, forcing politicians, elites, and Trump himself into sniper kill zones on evacuation zones. They stockpiled guns, ammo, body armor, and tactical gear. They mapped targets. They wanted a revolution in blood. This wasn't theory. It was days away from execution on June 14th, according to justice.gov. Excuse me. New details dropping now reveal a coordinated nightmare involving encrypted chats, anti-government extremism, and high-value hits on Congress members. How many more were involved? How deep does it go? We came this close to a massacre on the People's House lawn. Thank God for vigilant parents and our heroes in law enforcement who stopped it cold. Excuse me. There's something really interested in here that if you pulled out of there, if you heard it when I said it, but I'll go back and talk about it. They talked about how, let me find it here. Okay, right there. It says new details dropping now reveal a coordinated nightmare involving encrypted chats. So, as I understand it, they actually busted them by hacking into Signal. And Signal is supposed to be the best of all of them. And so I think this is a great reminder to everybody that if they're hacking into Signal, they can hack into anything, first and foremost. But this also was quite sophisticated if you listen to what they were saying, again, assuming that it's true. But they were talking about how they were going to send in some drones, they were going to blow stuff up, and then they had snipers in positions at the evacuation areas. So when people took off running, they had snipers pre-positioned in those spots to cause as much trouble as they could, possibly cause with their pre-staged sniper teams. This was one of the young men that was arrested, that picture there, kind of in the center. And I'm glad it didn't happen. Yeah, Dan said the leader's mom turned himself in as well. Hey, G-Dog, welcome in. Says Sonia Sotomayor, good people can do bad things. And Terminator, welcome in. Said Freedom Family, I've been late. So busy, my land is almost all cleared. Last to go, to be torn down, is my cabin. I think, Terminator, that's sad, and I'm sorry you're doing that. But, there's something to be said about new beginnings, too. Mm-hmm. Indiana said, now drone purchasing will need background checks and licenses. And private chat will be outlawed for the greater good. 100%. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Right? I mean, those are that's their words. That's their words, Nito says, just like one of the hotels I stayed in on this trip, I was very nervous as the door didn't close properly. Large space all around it. I blocked the door with the luggage rack so it couldn't be opened. Ugh. But there's more to this story. I don't know if you guys watched the fights. I did not. But there was one thing that, and I don't care who you are, it's funny. The guy that won, UFC winner, Josh, you don't even know this yet. I haven't shared the story, but this was funny. But Josh Hokett stuns White House crowd with a vile Michelle Obama comment. So when he won, he's up on stage. He's talking about it. This, that. He said, hey, by the way, Michelle Obama is a man. How about that, America? And then walked off stage. And so, of course, this sent a complete, everybody into a complete frenzy. The radical left is trying now to cancel him, over that. And it's really kind of ironic that, there was no outrage when people were saying Melania Trump is an escort, right? Nobody stood up. Nobody got mad about that. There was no outrage when Charlie Cook brought death upon himself, right? That he deserved to die. And now all of a sudden there's all this outrage over Michelle Obama, and then furthermore, why are the liberals so mad that Michelle Obama was called a man when they are pro-trans? Right? What's the big deal? Anyway, I don't know if you guys found it funny. I found it hilarious. We need to have a sense of humor as a country. Is she a man? I have no idea. Don't care, to be honest with you. The real tragedy is he just got done thanking his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and then said, I want trauma on your mama along with Michelle Obama as a man. What a poor representation. Mario, I could write a book on what you said right there. That is what you just said right there is rampant in Christianity, in my opinion. Will Be Cool said they hate the truth. I think it's just, if you have a sense of humor, it was funny. Again, I don't know. I have no idea what the truth is, but I know laugh out loud. I couldn't care less what gender either Obama is. I don't either. Other than I think there's one piece, Dan, I must correct myself. There's one piece I do care about, which is if they lied to the American people to get elected. Right? I mean, I think you got to own it. And so I would care about that piece, but beyond that, I could care less. Let's see here. Oh, this is a big story. So the Ford CEO was caught this week on camera, and what he said absolutely blew me away. But we need to be preparing for this. So the CEO of Ford Motor Company feels that you should not have the right to repair your own vehicle. He has represented a well-articulated backpedal in recent days, but the fact is that even a discussion is more than enough to evoke a response. Here goes nothing. Mr. Fry, I write on behalf of my fellow hobbyists, skilled technicians, and mechanics, and for those who purchased Ford vehicles. Quite frankly, your opposition to the right to repair legislation is appealing, but not at all surprising. The amount of integrated nanny devices increased by the year, and your company, as well as every other, has worked hard in increasing the skill level required to repair our vehicles. I'm certain this boggles the mind, but some of us actually enjoy working on our vehicles and we take pride in what we do. Others do this for a living and rely on the customers who either lack the skills or have no interest in being elbow deep in grease or otherwise lack the means to repair their own vehicles. And so basically, to sum it up, the Ford CEO said you shouldn't have the right to repair your vehicles. All repairs should be done at a shop, and they should make them, and they're doing it now. I was over at our mechanic shop the other day, and he was talking about how a lot of these newer cars, there is no transmission dipstick anymore. Like, you can't check that stuff anymore. That's all done at the factory. And Jen says no different than John Deere Mercedes. 100% no different. But I don't know about you guys, but
that's true, though.
It's another level of control, right? And we have so many of these levels that evolve around our world today. It's part of the reason I was so motivated to build me a truck, because I'll be able to work on it.
Yeah.
I'll know how it works, all of those kind of things. But not being able to work on your own vehicle can only bring it to a certified auto mechanic is cohesive control, right? We are supposed to pay these people outrageous prices for simple fixes because they won't make tools that we can use to fix. Oh, and then outlaw it if you do. You guys remember we were talking about the kill switches not long ago? They're talking about putting, by 2027, all vehicles will be equipped with automatic kill switches, to where if they don't think you're driving right, if they think you're tired, whatever it is, they have the ability to control your car. And then furthermore, a lot of new cars are now coming with services, so you cannot even access the dash anymore without paying a service fee. So you're going to go buy a car for $100,000, and you're going to have to pay a monthly service fee to make your dash work. No, thank you. Yep, John. Indiana Mike says it's all to drive profits. Dan Redding said, I posted a video about that on the forum. Oh, cool. Very, very good.
Oh, nice.
I haven't been on there in a couple of days, but I will get on there. Yeah, build your own.
She's right, though. When we were looking at cars, we had a BMW once, and you were like, well, we don't like that because we don't want to, if we have to change the oil or whatever. Right. And then if Ford's doing the same thing, then they're just following suit with all the...
No, yeah, that's why I'm building me a truck. Fairfax County parents say that they're being asked to trade Christmas for more classroom time. A district survey is asking families whether religious and cultural holidays should be removed from the school calendar in exchange for additional learning days for the students. One Fairfax mother tells the district has shown little interest in hearing parents' objections, accusing school leaders of displaying an anti-Christian bias and dismissing concerns raised by families. I think this is absolutely crazy. Hold on, let me get to comments real quick here. Tesla adjacent. Call to action, keep your carburetors. That's a t-shirt, American Roots. Tag the modern day Mad Max. Yep, I will be. I absolutely would love nothing more than when I'm done building my truck and I'm driving behind somebody they would prefer just to pull over. Next to come is subscriptions to operate the vehicle, just like some of these computer programs that we used to get with the computer for free. Yep. And it says, sign me up. There were some rumors that they were going to pardon Edward Snowden. they had made some comments that they were going to do a big deal at the UFC fights, but I tried to look it up. I couldn't find that they did. So apparently that was fake news, and they didn't, unless someone hears something different. But I don't believe that they did. Nitos sold my 2013 Ford Escape for that reason, kept the 99 Ford F350 and the 2003 Toyota Highlander. God save their souls. They do not know what they are doing. No. And G-Dog, I'm not going to elaborate on your comment, but I could not agree with you more. Holy caption. Tulsi Gabbard has shocked the deep state by, on her last day of the office, releasing a bombshell files that Dr. Fauci used tax dollars to fund the Wuhan lab responsible for COVID and millions of deaths. And he purposefully covered it up. He lied to Congress. Tulsi is a patriot. So I don't know if you guys, many of you guys know this. I know some of you do because I've talked to some of you about this, but on Tulsi's last day, she let loose a bunch of stuff. And one of them really kind of corners Fauci. Now, here's the thing though. I've never seen them do anything about it. So why would I expect them to do anything about it now?
Not that you know of. They have not done anything that you know of.
He's not in jail. No charges have been filed. So what would they do to him that I do not know that would that then make it acceptable?
Maybe it's not done.
Clearly, because he's not in jail. There's more to that, though. She also just appeared on Fox News to confirm the American people that the Obama and senior officials around him attempted a coup. This is treason. Hold them accountable. This is possibly the most alarming act of treason since the Lincoln assassination. Tulsi Gabbard released hundreds of pages of previously undisclosed communications between Dr. Fauci, steering the intelligence community away from investigating U.S.-funded 19 research in China that may have caused the pandemic. Shocking exposure. The entire 19 pandemic was a premeditated deep state plot orchestrated by Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, and Dr. Fauci and the Rothschild family. And Tulsi Gabbard has released it all. We'll see what happens to the story. I promise you I will follow it. Oh, yeah, they didn't mention that on the local news today. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. It's so hard to get anything on the mainstream news other than whatever political they spin they're trying to put down your throat for the next election. Fauci broke the law in several ways. Yeah, we'll see what happens to it. Like I said, I'm watching it. Snowden isn't in jail because he is in Moscow, Russia, avoiding prosecution. Yeah, and I agree with that. But there was rumors that Trump was going to pardon him at the fight. But again, I didn't see it. Felonious Fauci. Now, I would love to see justice served. And I applaud Tulsi. I think it's sad that she had to do it on her way out, that she couldn't do it while she was there. But I applaud her. She went on a total rampage, and I applaud her for it. Let's see, declassified intel. This week, the CIA declassified a 1950 study showing anti-parasitic disrupt cancer growth and kept it buried for over a half of a century. A declassified CIA document from 1950 reveals early research linking anti-parasitic compounds to tumor biology, raising questions about decades of unexplored scientific potential. Millions of cancer victims have paid the price as this vital line of research was set back decades ago. Makes you happy, huh?
No.
Dan Blue reported that I really hate being right about this type of stuff. I've been warning for many weeks and months that the corporations do not take kindly to being stood up to. And then those towns or counties winning. So I'm going to read this further, but what they're basically saying is that the government and the corporations are now starting to punish counties who are standing up to them. Literally every county or town that's one has ended up facing devastation, deadly or otherwise life-destroying circumstances. This one in Georgia specifically has been the most public out of all of them recently. And now there's been like 10 tornadoes back to back in the exact location that these people are fighting back. I'm sure it's all just a random coincidence how farts and diesel engines, military chat, migratory birds, radar reflections, no nefarious manipulation around here. That's not possible. We don't even have the technology. And obviously she's making a joke. So basically what she's proposing is that the government and big corporations are using weather modification to punish people who are standing up to the government. Again, don't know if it's true. Not saying it is, but I certainly found it interesting. Dana Green says Fauci equals sickle maker in, how do you say that? Gematria. I don't know.
Sure.
They didn't do anything to him and the age drug. He knowingly deleted people with back in the 80s. Yeah, I'm surprised more of that hasn't come out because he was super involved in all that, and a lot of people died. I heard this week that America is going to stop funding AIDS prevention stuff in Africa. Anyway, interesting. One of the main problems in the countryside. This is now. I'm switching over to world news, specifically the UK here. But one of the politicians got on TV and said one of the main problems in the country is dogs. Muslims don't like dogs. Liberal commentator explains that the British countryside is racist and Muslims avoid going there because there's too many people walking their dogs, which is haram in Islam. So watch now, you'll see this magical push, right? Because they come out and say what they're going to do ahead of time, right? They project, and that they're going to start putting limitations on your dogs. A lady in France who was, I can't say this word, the R word from some immigrants over there in France, stood up and threw a fit that was going on, and the French government froze her bank account and are now punishing her for standing up. Italy is boiling over because of the brutal murder of a German woman in Florence. And you guys remember we covered this a lot last week. This is Italy. Last week we talked about Scotland, Ireland, and the UK. And these stories just continue to come out every single day. A 44-year-old woman was beheaded near Florence. The suspect, which is a Moroccan migrant, the case from February is now sparking fresh outrage. Thousands demonstrated in Rome against the migration policy, similar in England, Ireland, and elsewhere. More and more Europeans demand consistent deportations and border security. Mario said it's because dogs have a good sense of evil. I don't know. I mean, there's part of me, not part of me. I think it's a fair conclusion to say that there are a certain set that does these horrible things, but I also don't think that it's fair to say that it's a blanket statement either. I mean, I know of some really good Christians and I know some really shitty ones too. So I don't know what the percentage is. I'm not going to pretend to know what the percentage is, but I do think it's fair to say that it's not a blanket statement. So in the case of these extremists, I think they should all be just, taken out and we'll be done with it. But again, I don't think that that's a blanket statement. Let's see here. Graped is the new code word for that disgusting act. Okay, thank you. Because I can't say that stuff. I've already got permanent strikes. So, speaking about being graped, yesterday the UK released a 200-page report they called the Graped Gang Inquiry Report, right, which was published. The institutions over there are covering it all up, including Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. It's horrific, but we'll summarize it for you. It estimates that 250,000 British girls abused in 149 districts across the UK over the years. These aren't isolated cases. They are organized networks, mostly made up of men of Pakistani origin, between 87% and 95%, according to convictions of data. So one of the things I challenge stories like this is the gap between the 87 and the 95, right? So that's 8%. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a business guy. The balance sheet is what the balance sheet is. And I would much more prefer someone, it would give it more credibility if they would say 91%, not a range. But anyway, it includes extremely graphic and disturbing testimonies. Examples: one victim was raped, right, by 600 to 700 men over the course of 3 years. Girls locked in cages like dogs, burned with cigarettes, waterboarded, strangled, raped. Man, they got me. Graped with objects, medical and police failures that worsened the trauma, ethnic, religious, racism, and abusers. But the worst part isn't just the abuse, it's that the institutions knew and looked the other way. Police, social services, councils, NHS, and schools received complaints and ignored them, destroyed evidence, or even arrested the victims for consenting. And so I actually hope that this is the great turning over there and that this report will come out and the people of England, which what a great country, right, we're full of pride, will actually stand up and say enough of this stupidness. Amy B says a co-worker has a very new Bronco under warranty and the dealer held her vehicle hostage for 2 days because they didn't have a single spark plug. Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Anyway,
hard to find apparently.
If you're curious about the Grape Gang Inquirer report, it's all over the internet. You can read it. Britain recognizes polygamous marriages, and households can now earn an extra $125 per week for each additional wife. Isn't that cool?
No.
You don't like that?
No, I think that's
Babe,
silly.
if we brought in a couple extra wives, we could be earning like $1,000 a month.
Mm.
You like that idea?
No, I don't think you'd like that either.
I don't think B's playing. Isn't that crazy how they incentivize things like that? Outrage is growing in Italy over the throat of a girl in Florence. Most of Europe is up in flames. We already mentioned that one. A video is growing viral in Germany of a migrant trying to extinguish the eternal flame of World War II memorial in Berlin. You know, there's a big memorial in Berlin that has flame that burns all the time.
Okay.
Migrants try to put out the flame. Crazy. This story blew me away. You see, G-Dog said, would you have another wife for 125 pounds? No. I wouldn't do it for 10 times that. Too much work. Anyway, I don't know if you guys heard this story or not, but a 3-year-old boy was thrown into a crocodile enclosure by a 30-year-old male in England. The attack was random, they say, but the man walked by, grabbed the toddler, threw him in the crocodile enclosure. He was mauled, and last I heard was in intensive care in the hospital. England is refusing to release the name, but what we're hearing is that he was a Muslim migrant. But what I think's so crazy about it is that the police of the United Kingdom have released him on bail, right? The guy that threw the 3-year-old kid in, and he was released because he was deemed unfit to be questioned. Quote. In other words, they're treating him as if he was unhinged and excused him and excused his responsibility.
Wow. And let him go.
And let him go. Because he was, and I quote, unfit to be questioned. Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
Mario goes, I don't know, 125 a week is pretty tempting for a second wife. Dude, you're going to get in so much trouble, Mario. You're going to get in you might be in that crocodile pen. I think I'm going to skip though. We're already at 2 hours.
Yeah,
holy moly.
just like that.
All right.
You got like one slide of good news. Good job.
No, I'll leave it right there. That's okay. The good news is, guys, is for all of these bad stories that we talk about, there's a lot of good stories that go on too. There are reports all over the United States of city councils being overturned, sheriffs. We heard about them right in the audience tonight, forced to be resigned. You've got parents standing up to school, to school districts. We've got flock cameras being taken down and being bagged up, and people who are canceled. A place in Colorado this week who canceled all their flock camera subscriptions. You have politicians just like Tulsi Gabbard, coming out and doing. Elon Musk, right? Absolutely called out one of the Jeffrey Epstein pedophiles to his face on X. Not going to say to his face, just directly to his X account this week. People are standing up, and I think it's something that should absolutely be celebrated. And, we can do it too, but we have to be ones willing to go do it, just like we talked about the whole Cora and Coma thing,
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't know how to do it, don't know that they could do it, didn't know
kind of a
option.
Kind of a shitty excuse, okay, because there was a point in time I didn't know either.
Right. Well,
I had to go find out, and nobody was going to tell me the answer.
Didn't somebody tell you?
No, I go in there, start asking questions, realize here's the law, go research the law, read about the law, get myself, a little bit educated. Jen says he can barely listen to the One Life Now.
Right.
I can make a lot of jokes right there. Anyway, guys, be encouraged, right? And, we were talking, as we get out of here tonight.
I like that.
I was having a really cool conversation with some other community members tonight. And we talked about something that I thought I would just share with you guys, just a phrase that we talked about, which is stop participating and start owning. You're not a participant in your own security. You're not a participant in your own safety. You're not a participant in, your security, whether it's food security, water security, anything. You got to own that whole stuff, and just like in community, which is what we were actually talking about, is we got to own community, not be a participant of community. And, they're not going to, you know, I'm not being run off, right? I mean, I'm here, I've done it, and I'm owning it, right?
I like own it.
Own it. That's right. You want to own everything. B's a little bit like a dictator, right? You like that?
I do.
What do you want to own?
It.
What's it?
All of it.
You got any smart words before we leave here tonight? Let me
Own
guess.
it.
You like what I said?
Own it.
She's a dork. We love you guys. We'll see you guys in a week.
Be out.
Tag out. Good night, everybody.
Good night.